All right, welcome everybody. Sorry for the delay. We had a little technical difficulty getting the camera set up here. Couldn't quite get it to come to you in landscape mode, so hopefully that helps out on your TVs and whatnot. But here we are again for another Aviators broadcast of Squirt Hockey. Taking on Grand Rapids here. Some of you may know, my wife and I and four of my kids our hometown is Grand Rapids, so obviously got to know quite a few of the people that are out here with this team. I've gone to school with them or just knew them through other ways in Grand Rapids. So kind of an exciting Saturday here, and we'll be playing this exact same team again tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. So anybody that wants to watch that game as well, we'll have that one live for you. Also, my name's Chris Norby, and I printed off the rosters for both teams. Obviously, you know the Grand Forks team with my son being on it. But downloaded and prepped the Grand Rapids roster here so I can try to call out their names as best I can. It'd be a little tricky trying to see some of their jerseys as they got them tucked into the back of their breezers. And obviously it takes a little time to get used to their skating style or whatever to recognize some of the kids, but hopefully I can call those out for you as best as I can as this game goes along. So, we're glad you could join us for this game this afternoon. I believe Grand Rapids out here playing 4 games, taking on, obviously, Grand Forks right now. They'll be playing East Grand Forks, I think, tonight. I'm not 100% sure on that, but then they'll play us again in the morning and then our other Squirt B1 team later in the afternoon. So should be a fun weekend of hockey for them as they travel out here to Grand Forks on this holiday weekend. Got about 35 seconds here. We'll get the pucks picked up, get this game underway. Both teams about done with warm-ups. Should be a fun game here. Looks like Grand Rapids moving the puck around pretty well. This could be a tough game for the Aviators, one of the tougher teams they will play this year. We got about 5 seconds here, and we'll hear that buzzer and get the pucks picked up here. Get this game underway. I'm going to step away for one quick second here. All right, pucks are getting picked up. Both teams gathering around, going over what they want to do here one last time, getting prepped for this game. The Aviators down here in the corner around their goaltender. Grand Rapids circling the zone here. I'm guessing they will gather around their goaltender as well in the corner, and then we will get this puck dropped here and get this game underway. 15 minutes up on the board. I may say some things. I'm used to doing Bantam games as well, so usually it's the 17-minute periods as well as the 2-minute full penalties. Obviously, with this younger group, we'll play a 1.5-minute penalties, which does make a big difference. For those of you that watch lots of hockey, that extra 30 seconds is a big difference, especially at this level when there's not as many whistles at times, although you do see a few more with the offsides and all that. But so we'll get things underway here. Looks like it's Jay Statstad, Grady, Evan out there for the Aviators. Trying to see, we got Grayson Doyle. There's a shot sent on by the Aviators, saved by the goaltender for Rapids. Trying to see what his number is so we can get that announced for you as Rapids sends this one down the ice. Aviators will chase after down into their own end. Looks like Parker Norberg in there as well for the Thunderhawks. Picked up here by Grady for the Aviators. Sends it forward, gets it up to Jace. Jace along the boards over to Evan. Evan pushes it forward to the Rapids line, but sent back through the zone down into the Aviators end, picked up by Albert. Albert sends one off the wall, gets it up to Grady. Knocked away from him there by Will McInerney. This one sent over to the near side, picked up by, looks like Brody Kirsting. Shot sent on, goes wide, picked up by Albert Crary in the far corner. Thunderhawks on the attack, have it down below. They send it behind the net. Now over to the near side. Evan trying to clear this one out. Tied up along the boards here by the Thunderhawks. They get it up to Grady, up to the blue line. Looks like he'll get it to the blue line, but not out. There's John Busher trying to get a shot off. Knocked off of his stick. Grady picks it up. He'll break this one out of the zone, out into the neutral zone. Try to get through a swarm of Thunderhawks. Gets knocked down. Puck taken away. Picked up by Busher. Sent out into the neutral zone. That one stopped by Caleb Jacoby. Taken away by Grand Rapids once again. And some nice stick ending there from Levi Pavlich, who's able trying to get that one into the zone deeper, but Teeny's able to bring it back out, but sent in offsides there by Thunderhawks, and we'll get a face off just outside the Aviators end. Just about 2 minutes played here. Most of the time down in the Aviators end. Thunderhawks putting a lot of pressure on here early. Haven't got a lot of clear shots on net quite yet, but have got some zone time as they push this one into the Aviators end. Cleared out. Brought back in here on side. Shot sent on. That goes off a stick. Sam had to slide over to keep that one out of the net. Sent up to the blue line. Looks like it'll come out or come up to the blue line, but not out. Tied up along the boards here right in front. Some other youth hockey players cheering on both these teams. With Macklin Brown sending one off the wall, trying to get it out, but Thunderhawks able to keep it in. Actually, looks like it now does come out into the neutral zone, picked up by Will McInerney. Stolen away here by Porter McWilliams. He's trying to get it around. He gets taken down, no arm up. They play on. Along the wall. Aviators trying to keep it in the zone here. Thunderhawks push it up the sidewall. Now they chip it out into the neutral zone. Teeny comes over to pick it up. She spins it around, throws it out through the middle. This comes over to the near side. Macklin trying to pick it up. Cuts it into the zone, works it down low into the slot, trying to go around the defense. Gets a shot off. Goaltender makes a big save on that one. Teeny slides in to try to keep this one in. Looks like she'll be successful at that. Pushes it down in the corner to Porter. Porter sends one on net. Looks like it's Bowen O'Brien in net there for the Aviators. This one rolls in on him slowly. Puck's still loose out front. Thunderhawks get control. They're going to work this one up the blue line now into the neutral zone. Along the wall, brought it into the zone. Let's see what number he's wearing. It's stuck into the back of his jersey there. 16, no, it might be 10. That might be Louis Shimon. This one's pushed into the Aviators end, picked up by Albert. Goes behind his own net, sends one up the wall. This will be taken away by the Thunderhawks. Actually, it went underneath a stick, and it comes down into their own zone. Evan racing down to get there. He'll get behind the defense. In alone on the goaltender. Shot, scores, and the Aviators take the 1-0 lead here. Just about 4 minutes into this first period. Just a simple little dump there up the wall by Albert. Splits everybody, comes out into the neutral zone. Evan from the backside sneaks in, takes it away, and somehow finds the net over the blocker side of the goaltender, giving the Aviators the 1-0 lead here. Thunderhawks on the attack, though, right off the face. They work it to the middle. Shot sent on. Sam makes the save. Another shot on. Looks like that's into the belly of Sam. He holds on, and we'll get a face-off. So 11 minutes to go here. First period. Aviators with a 1-0 lead. Looks like it'll be Carter Hengschleben to take the face-off, trying to see which Rapids player here. Number 5, Parker Norberg, set up to take that one-timer off that. But Aviators get control of the puck, ringing around to the near side. Looks like Grayson Doyle trying to work his magic along the wall, but lost the handle on there. Grady putting the pressure on Will McInerney. Brought back in. Shot sent on, but it goes off a defenseman's leg pad and into the corner. Thunderhawks get right on it. They send it out front. Here's an opportunity. Shot sent on right into his stomach, but it looks like it found the back of the net. And just like that, Thunderhawks tie it up 1-1 here. with 10:33 to go in the first. A quick answer there from the Thunderhawks. Giving up one on a breakaway. They find the back of the net, tying this game up at 1. Looks like it'd be Levi Pavlich taking a face off. Brought forward here by Jay Stad. Puck bouncing around, picked by Teeny on the near side. She dumps it down into the Thunderhawks end. Down below the net. Picked up by the defenseman. I believe that's Nelson Berg. He skates this one forward. Has options, keeps it, brings it into the zone, takes a shot that goes off of Caleb Jacoby's leg. Aviators get on it. It's Eli, hands it back to Caleb. Caleb goes behind his own net, sends one up the wall, trying to find Porter. Over the point, but kept in by the Aviators. They turn it up front. Shot sent on. That goes off the pipe. Into the corner. Picked up again here by the Aviators. Jace with it. Skates it forward. Lost the handle on that. Thunderhawks take it back. But picked up by Porter. He brings it into the zone. Thunderhawks get it first. They send it up the wall. Now into the neutral zone. Trying to get through a few different Aviators. Brought in down the right side. Lost the handle on it. Thunderhawks get it back down in the corner. They send one on net. That goes off of Sam's pad. He covers it up with the blocker. Holds on. We'll get a face-off. So 9:21 to go here. First period. Aviators leading in the shot department 5-4. But tied up 1-1 here on the scoreboard. Tate Davies to take the face off. One back to the point. They go D to D, working through the middle. Knocked away there by Macklin. Thunderhawks get on it again. Down into the corner. Tate Davies with it behind the net. Using his body, feeds it out to the point to Will McInerney. He feeds it over to his D partner. Shot sent on. That's tipped a couple times. Doesn't make it to the goaltender. Picked up here by Lewis, I believe. Stolen away by Grady. Grady works this one up, gets it up to Evan. Off of his skate, down into the the Thunderhawks end. No icing called. Battle for it along the wall. Looks like Tate will dig it out for the Thunderhawks. Picked up here by Will. He feeds it over to Lewis. Lewis down the right side, works around the defenseman. Shot sent on right into the glove of Sam. He holds on, and we're going to face off. Back and forth we go. Both teams up and down the ice. We are tied up 1-1 here with 8:28 remaining in the first period. Looks like it'll be Hudson Adler to take the face off for the Thunderhawks. Going against Macklin Brown. Shots in on there right into the stomach. Loose puck in the blue paint. Still bouncing around. Grady boxes out there. Picked up by Caleb Jacoby. He'll skate this one up the sidewall. Lost the handle on it, but does work it out to the blue line. Now out into the neutral zone. They're going to say not offsides, though. But they kept it in to work it down low. Adler trying to get a shot off. Defended well there by the Aviators. Adler gets it back, though. Works it out to the point. Tipped away from his defenseman there as he's ready to wind up and shoot it. The feed went to the middle. Now back out to the point. Shots in on through traffic right into the glove of Sam, and he holds on. That was Nelson Berg with the shot from the point. No face-off coming on the near side here in the Aviators' end. I feel like Thunderhawks switching out goaltenders. I believe that's Casey Ferguson going in net here for the Thunderhawks. Bouncing puck off the face-off there, picked up by the Aviators. Brought forward here by Eli. Off a couple of legs, it does come down into the Thunderhawks' end. Carter Hengschlaven gets on it first, pushes it down low in the corner. He tries to work it out front, but it comes over to the near side. Thunderhawks wrap it around, and they work it out into the neutral zone. Eli getting back to help out his defenseman. Caleb, the lone defenseman, back. Thunderhawks trying to get a shot off, but defended nicely there by the Aviators. Picked up by Caleb. He'll skate this one forward. Gets it up to Carter. Carter with it. Weaving, trying to get through the defense. Lost the handle on it. Pushes one towards the net. Tipped away by Kaysen. Into the corner. Sent through the middle. Picked up by Caleb Jacoby again. He sends one back down in Thunderhawks' end. They chip one into the bench. Hitting Coach Ryan Davies there. He had to jump out of the way. And we'll get a whistle and a face-off right in front of the Thunderhawk bench. 6:58 remaining first period. 1-1 hockey game. Shots now showing favor of the Thunderhawks, 8-6. Looks like it was Jace Stadstad versus Levi Pavlich. Thunderhawks bring it into the zone. Shot sent on. That goes off the stick of Sam. He directs it into the corner. Now up the far side wall. Thunderhawks get on it first. They feed it back to the point. They go D to D. Dangerous pass there. Almost picked off by a couple of Aviators. Here's Grady. Skates it forward. Tries to feed it forward to Jace. Thunderhawk goaltender just deflecting that one into the corner. That shot sent on. Looks like he'll get a glove on it. We'll get a face off in the Thunderhawk end. Clock's still ticking down here. People trying to get a hold of them. They finally do. So 6:23 remaining here, first period. Face up, tied up at the dot. Comes out to the point. Tucker Norby takes a shot off. Loose puck out front, bouncing around. Looks like Thunderhawks will settle that one down. They try to send it up the wall. Albert slides up, takes a shot, sends it at the net. Here's Jace. Shot sent on. Goaltender makes a nice save. That one pushed up to John. John sends it through the middle, but stolen away by Grady. Evan now trying to control that one, but Thunderhawks are able to get it out into the neutral zone. Albert has to slow up here. Tried to wait for Grady to get onside, but ends up being an offsides call. We'll get a face-off here just outside the Thunderhawk end. Both teams setting out full new lines here. I believe it'll be Tate Davies versus Macklin Brown. They're similar heights. Both on the shorter side here. Face-off, push forward. Teeny steps up to try to defend it. Now it's pushed down into the Aviators' end. Caleb Jacoby goes back. He's getting pressured by Desmond Dolan. Shot pushed out front there, but pushed away by the Aviators. It comes out to the blue line. Thunderhawks have to retreat a little bit. No options there, otherwise it would have been an offsides call. Will tries to push it up. Gets stolen away by Eli. Eli works it down in the corner. Tries to feed out front to Porter. Puck loose. All alone behind the net, and they say it's a goal. Aviators find the back of the net and take the lead once again here, 2-1. Looked like Kaysen made the save, but it must have leaked out just behind him as Porter jumped over him, trying to bat at it a little bit. Not sure if he was able to get it clean or not, but it did find the back of the net. And the Aviators take a 2-1 lead here with 5:14 remaining in this first period. Davies and Brown facing off again. Brown going down hard as Davies shoved him down. Up to Davies, works around the defenseman, shot sent on. Knocked away there by Sam. Puck sent behind the net, over to Porter. Porter sends it up the wall, comes out to the point for the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on, gets blocked, sent down below the goal line. The feed went out front, nicely defended there by Eli though. As Desmond was waiting for that puck. He was ready to fire as soon as it got on a stick. Here's Dolan again in the corner. Feeds one out front. That's off an Aviator stick. Doesn't come out front. Aviator sent it to the far side. Macklin slides over to pick this one up. He pushes one down towards the Thunderhawks end. McInerney backhands one over to his D partner. Up the wall. Tooney slides up. Defends that one along the wall here. But Thunderhawks get control and they'll push it forward into the Aviators' end. Eli chips one out into the neutral zone. Porter's going to chase after this one. Thunderhawks will get there first. Porter grabs it, though, off the wall, brings it into the zone. Davies defending him. Porter works it towards the middle, has control of it down in the corner. Tried to feed one out front, but that went off his skate. Now he sends one through the middle. That comes loose to a Thunderhawk. Out in the neutral zone. That's Desmond Dolan with it now. Down the left side, lost an edge there. Grady stole it away, but Thunderhawks keep the zone. Shots in on, bouncing puck. Davies trying to get a stick on that one. They'll send it up the wall. Comes loose here, poked away by Carter Hangschlaven. He's got one man to beat down the left side. Comes in alone on the goaltender. Shot sent on, but a big save there by Kaysen. Grady of the Aviators gets on it first, but Thunderhawks steal it away. They make a pass through the neutral zone, a little bit off the mark. This one's going to be nice, but no icing as Albert right there before it gets to the goal line. Thunderhawks putting the pressure on again here. Shot sent on from the sidewall, tipped out front there, right into the stomach of Sam, and he holds on, and we'll get a face-off. That was Hudson Adler with a little bit of a tip right in front of the goaltender. I believe that puck was going to end up going wide, but Adler tipped it right into the stomach of Sam. We're going to face off here on the near side of the Aviators end. 3:20 to go first. Leading in the shot, Department 12 as well on the scoreboard, 2-1. This one's brought up the wall by Evan, but nicely defended there. That was Nelson Berg, excuse me. That one sent in on Sam. He holds on, and we'll get a face-off on the near side here once again. Sent out to the point, shot sent on there, blocked. I believe that was Bowen Olsen. This one comes over the side to Tucker. Tucker tries to force it up the wall, nicely slowed down there by Berg. He has it down the corner, feeds it over to the far side. Grady goes over to pick this up for the Aviators. Tries to chip it up the wall, but Thunderhawks keep it in. Comes this to Evan. Evan will skate this one out, feeds it to the middle, trying to hit it Grady, but Thunderhawks steal that one away, and back comes the Thunderhawks. Puck loose, knocked away by Grady, back down into the Thunderhawk end. Nelson Berg with it. Aviators send this one in well off sides, and we're going to face off on the neutral zone here. See if they move this one to center ice or if they'll keep it just outside the blue line here. It looks like they'll right outside the blue line in front of the Thunderhawk bench. Looks like it'll be Levi for the Thunderhawks taking the face off, going against Jace here. Aviators trying to push this one into the Thunderhawk end. Thunderhawks steal back. They'll bring it down to the Aviators end. John in all alone. Busher trying to pull the puck past Sam. Ends up going into the corner. Thunderhawks will get on it, but stolen away by the Aviators here along the wall. Porter McWilliams sends it out in the middle, gets it up to Eli. Eli trying to get around the defense, gets around one, gets taken down by another. Arm goes up. Looks like a penalty coming here to the Thunderhawks. So the first power play of the game will go to the Aviators. So we're going to face off down in the Thunderhawk end. Trying to see what number that is. Looks like it's 10. So it might be Lewis headed to the box here. Although it might not be 10. We'll get clarification on that here soon, as it's 5-on-4 power play here for the Aviators. Next minute 30, only a minute 53 remaining in the period. Shots now 13-13. Aviators leading on the scoreboard 2-1 though. We're going to face up. Controlled here by the Thunderhawks. They send one off the wall, comes up to the point. Caleb Jacoby, shot sent on through traffic, goes wide and into the corner. Picked up by the Thunderhawks. Out into the neutral zone. Here's Tate Davies. Down the right side, has one man to beat. Working on Caleb Jacoby. Goes through his legs, trying to get a shot off. That one pushed well wide. Sam came out to play that one. But Aviators will chip this one out. It jumps over the stick of Will. Picked up by Eli. The Aviators sent on here, but gloved by Case as it comes to him, and he holds on. We'll get a face out. Still a minute left of power play time. Minute 22 left on the game clock. Looks like it'll be Levi facing off against Macklin here. Pushed down in the corner by Grady. Grady sends it up the wall, trying to get it to Caleb. He keeps it at the blue line, sends it over to the near side. Macklin trying to get there first. Thunderhawks push it up the wall. Now Evan comes in to help out. Looks like it's Will trying to force this one out. Excuse me, that's Nelson for the Thunderhawks. Thunderhawks send it through the middle. Comes all the way out into the neutral zone. Slowed down by Teeny. Here's a race for it. Teeny chases back for the Aviators. That was Desmond trying to steal it away. Now it's picked up by Evan. Evan down the near side. Trying to get around the defense. Nicely defended there by Nelson. He feeds it up to Desmond. Desmond down the right side. Still 18 seconds left to go on the penalty kill here for the Thunderhawks. They feed it out to the middle. Nice pass there. Shot sent on. Sam gloves that one, holds on, and we'll get a face-off. So 12 seconds left to go on the power play here for the Aviators. 34 seconds left on the game clock in this first period. Face off one back by Thunderhawks, was stolen away by Grady here on the far side. He'll work this one on the neutral zone, pushes it down into the Thunderhawk end. Thunderhawks will chase after this. It'll go for icing though. So we'll reset back down the Aviators end for a face off. 1 second to go before Thunderhawks are back to full strength. Only 23 seconds left to go here in this period. It'll be Levi to take the face-off for the Thunderhawks. Macklin to take the face-off for the Aviators. Face-off one to the sidewall, picked up by Grady. Gets it out to the point. Back to 5-on-5 hockey here. Grady trying to get this one out into the neutral zone. He pushes it up the wall, gets it up to Evan. Brought into the zone. Buck bouncing around. Settled down here by Thunderhawks. They feed it through the middle, but stolen away at the point by Albert. But Thunderhawks are able to get it on the neutral zone. The Thunderhawks will work it down towards the Aviators' end, but only 1 second to go. Shot sent on, but well wide here. And that is the end of the first period. So 15 minutes in the books. Thunderhawks leading now. Shots on goal, 15-14, but Aviators leading in the goal department as they lead 2-1 after one. A pretty good back and forth game there in the first period. Both teams having lots of chances. Aviators capitalizing on a couple odd man rushes. All right, sorry about that. Glad to hear some good reports from some people out there that you're enjoying the broadcast. Trying to bring you the best coverage as I can, but obviously I'm not a professional, but I do what I can. But either way, both teams, like we said, having lots of chances. If Thunderhawks can obviously settle down the odd man rushes. Obviously, they've let a couple breakaways go here. Aviators are able to capitalize on one of them. The other two, obviously, great goaltending play by the Thunderhawk goaltenders, keeping those pucks out of the net. The Aviators just need to settle down this Thunderhawk team. When they get set up in the zone, they know how to move the puck around. They do a lot better of controlling the play in the offensive zone than the Aviators do. So need to make sure they stay in position, don't chase pucks sometimes, defend their zone well. We'll get ready for the second period. 15 minutes back up on the board. Carter for the Aviators. It'll be Hudson for the Thunderhawks facing off. Controlled here by the Thunderhawks right off the face-off. There's an opportunity for the Thunderhawks. Shot and a goal right off the face-off. They bring it right down in, split the defense, get a shot off, and tie this game up at 2. I believe Will McInerney went through the line first. Not sure if he was the goal scorer or not. I will get clarification on that when they announce it here, but I believe it was Will McInerney. Score now when it comes to Tucker off the face-off. He sends it down to the Thunderhawks end. McInerney on it again, sends it up the wall. Puck chipped out in the neutral zone. Albert will dump this one down in, but that'll go off sides. And we'll get a face-off here just outside of the Thunderhawk end. It'll be Hudson for the Thunderhawks going against Carter for the Aviators once again. Face off. Push forward here by the Aviators, brought into the zone. Picked up by Eli. Works it towards the net, but defended nicely there by Hudson Adler. He turns it up the wall, but stolen away by Carter Hengschleben. Now the Thunderhawks trying to work it out. They'll steal this one away in the neutral zone. Picked up by Tucker. He skates it forward, tried to feed up to Carter Hengschleben. Would have sprung him on a breakaway, but this one comes in on the goaltender. He covers it up and holds on. And we'll get a face-off here in the zone. All right, sorry about that. I got a report that some people are having some audio issues. Hopefully it's not on my end, but please, if anyone out there that has my number, just send me a text message. I'll be able to see it and try to fix anything that's going on out there. There's a chance for the Aviators. They're trying to get control of this puck, but Thunderhawks doing a nice job of defending here, and they bring it out in the neutral zone. Right down the middle, trying to get around Caleb. That's Eli for the Thunderhawks. He sends one down below the goal line. Grady sends it up the wall. Comes out to Bowen Olsen. He tried to fire a shot up. Grady stole it away. Actually, Bowen was able to get it down the sidewall. Gets Teeny for the Aviators. She sends it up to the blue line. It does come out in the neutral zone. Thunderhawks get back on side, and they bring it right back in down the far side. Sent through the middle. Nice pass there into the middle. Shot sent in on Sam. He holds onto it, and we'll get a face-off. So 2-2 hockey game here with 13:21 remaining in the second period. Thunderhawks now leading in the shot department 17-15. It'll be Tate Davies to take the face-off. Jay Stadstad for the Aviators. Sent back to the point. Aviators go D to D. Comes over to Will McInerney. Shots in on through traffic. Sam comes out, makes the save on that. Had 3 Thunderhawks out front trying to get a stick on that. Somehow Sam was still able to make the save. Brought back in here. Stolen away by the Aviators. They got people out front. Grady down the right side trying to feed this one out front. Works it towards the net. Gets a shot off. Big save there by Case and Ferguson. Comes out to the point. Thunderhawks trying to get around Caleb. Caleb feeds one to the middle, gets it to Grady. Grady slips around one, hands it over to Jace. Jace fires. That one goes up and over the net. Thunderhawks jump on the far side, work it out to the point. Now through the legs of Teeny. Back comes the Thunderhawks, 4-on-1. Caleb Jacoby, the lone man back. Shot sent on, beats Sam over the blocker side into the back of the net. Thunderhawks lead this one 3-2. Big shot there by Lewis down the right side. Had some options out front. Decided to take the shot himself from an odd angle. Up and over the blocker of Sam and into the far side corner. And the Thunderhawks lead this one by 1 here with 12:36 to play in the second period. Macklin, the Aviators. Versus Tate for the Thunderhawks. Face-off controlled here by the Thunderhawks. Tate Davies with it, brings it into the zone. Mick Williams trying to steal that one away. Run around to the near side. Comes out to the point. Will McInerney is able to keep that one in. Tucker behind his own net. Lost his footing. Gets it to Tate Davies. Davies trying to get a shot off. Another goal here for the Thunderhawks. That'll be Desmond Dolan. Gets a shot off. Finds the back of the net. Making this one a 4-2 hockey game now. So after the first period, it was 2-1. Thunderhawks with 3 quick goals here in the first 3 minutes of this second period. And they now lead 4-2. Oh, face-off coming at center ice. It'll be Tate Davies versus Macklin Brown. Push forward here by the Thunderhawks. Comes to Albert Crary. Feeds it up the side wall. Trying to get it up to Eli. Eli pushes this one down into the Thunderhawk end. Down in the corner. Macklin Brown. Down below the goal line. Thunderhawks reverse it. They'll pick it up on the near side. They feed it up. One off. Trying to see. That was Desmond Dolan's stick. Here's Dolan for the Thunderhawks. Brings it in down the left side. Feeds one to the middle, trying to get Davies. Dolan gets a back shot, sent off. That goes off the side of the goaltender. Thunderhawks trying to push this one up front. Picked up by Albert. They'll skate this one forward for the Thunderhawks. He's got Porter to his left. Feeds it over to him. It's brought into the zone. A little bit off the mark. Porter will chase after it down in the corner. Feeds one out front. Finds Albert, but pushed just wide. Had some wide open net to shoot at. The Thunderhawks get control, and they'll skate this one out. They feed it through the middle. Here's Dolan. Splits the D. In alone on the goaltender. Shot sent on. Beats the goaltender. And it's a 5-2 hockey game here. The Thunderhawks come to play in this second period. So a 3-goal lead here now for the Thunderhawks. They're also out shooting the Aviators 21-15. We get the face-off at center ice. Hudson Adler versus Carter Hengschleben for the Aviators. Controlled off the face-off here by the Thunderhawks. They push it forward. Teamy pushes this one back towards the Thunderhawks end. Misplayed here. But a nice job from his knees there. I believe that was, trying to see who that is, number 8, Brody Kirsting, clearing that one out. Stopping the Aviators there as Caleb skates this one from behind his net for the Aviators. Brings it up the far side, feeds him to the middle. That goes off the skate. Here's an opportunity again for the Thunderhawks. Stolen away by Grayson Doyle. Shot sent on. Aviators gather this one up along the far side wall. Aviators trying to get this one out. Down goes Caleb. Picked up by Grady, trying to force this one out. Thunderhawks keep it down low. It comes loose in the slot here. Couple players collide. Picked up by Evan. Evan feeds it up the wall, gets it to Carter. Carter trying to go around the defense. Sneaks around one, has Grady out front. Brings it towards the middle. Gets the goalie moving. Shot sent on. Kaysen made the save, but it somehow leaked through and ends up in the back of the net. And the Aviators cut into that lead, making it 5-3. But Thunderhawks still with a commanding 2-goal lead here with 10-12 remaining in the second period. It'll be Levi for the Thunderhawks. Jace for the Aviators. Face off one back. Thunderhawks go D to D. They feed it up the far wall. Up to John Busher. Busher down the far side. Takes a shot. Sends one on. Goes wide. It'll come over to the defenseman over here on the near side. That's Bowen Olsen. Pushes it up the wall. Stolen away by the Aviators. Aviators trying to get this one out. Looks like they will sneak it out into the neutral zone. Thunderhawks send it up the sidewall. Battle for it along the boards here. The Thunderhawks will get control over to John Busher once again down the far side. Shot sent on. That one goes wide. Prairie trying to steal this one away from Levi. Levi with the Thunderhawks feeds it out to his defenseman. That's Bowen Olsen. Makes a nice little move. Sends a shot on through traffic. Tipped in front by the Aviators. Almost putting one in the back of their own net here. Porter trying to get this one out. Nicely defended there along the wall by Nelson Berg, and the Thunderhawks keep it in the zone. Porter steals it back, forces this one out in the neutral zone. John Busher racing back to get there first for the Thunderhawks. Sends it over to his defensive teammate, Bowen Olsen. Bowen sends it through the middle. Prairie for the Aviators sends it back out. Picked up by the Thunderhawks, though. They're still putting the pressure on, brought into the zone. They work it to the middle, trying to get through the defense. Shot sent on. That one whistles high and wide. Comes loose over to Porter. Porter has Macklin behind the defense, gets it up to Macklin. Macklin has some space, but gets swallowed up by some speedy Thunderhawk players. Macklin trying to steal it back, though, but Thunderhawks spin away from that attempt. It comes out to the point. Tucker trying to keep this one in. Here's Macklin, keeps it in once again, but Thunderhawks get it out in the neutral zone. Puck kind of lost here, but picked up by Evan. He'll turn and bring it towards the Thunderhawks end. They knock it off of his stick. Battle for it along the board that comes loose. Picked up by Evan. Thunderhawks push this one down towards the Aviators end. Tucker slides up, gets it all the way up to Porter. Porter with control brings it into the zone, but gets it taken away right away by Bowen for the Thunderhawks, and he'll bring it back. Down into the zone, has one man to beat, gets around Albert, trying to get a shot off, arm goes up. Look like a penalty coming here for the Aviators, so the Thunderhawks will get the power play now. Trying to see who it'll be on. I believe it'll be on Albert for tripping here, and it will be so. Aviators going down a man for the next minute 30. 7:56 remaining second period. 5-3 lead for the Thunderhawks. They'll look to extend their lead here with the man advantage. They're starting to extend their lead in the shot department too now, 23-16, as this one's won back by the Thunderhawks. Comes to the point. Shot sent on traffic. Nice tip there by Tate Davies on that shot from the point. They find the back of the net quickly on that power play. The Thunderhawks with a 3-goal lead once again. They now lead 6-3. Beautiful little face-off win back to the point. Just a quick little shot sent on net. Davies sees it coming, gets a stick on it, changes the direction right up and over the goaltender's glove. and it ends up back in the net. So Bowen O'Brien coming back in to relieve Case and Ferguson halfway through this second period. So we're going to face off center ice. Tate Davies here versus Macklin Brown. Picked up by Caleb Jacoby for the Aviators. Sends it forward. Comes into the Thunderhawks end, but they clear it out quickly. Work to the middle. It looks like Lewis skates it forward. Lost the handle on it. Thunderhawks trying to get control of it here. Grady as well for the Aviators. Thunderhawks push it down towards the Aviators net. Stolen away by Teeny here. Teeny will skate this one forward. She tries to pass it off to Grady. Down into the Thunderhawk end. Will McInerney grabs it. Goes behind his own net. Feeds it up the wall. Gets up to Desmond Dolan. He's swallowed up right away, but they're able to push it out in the neutral zone. Teeny loops around. Takes a look. Cuts it through the middle. Lost the handle on that one. The Thunderhawks bring it right back in. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Teeny doing a nice job to get back, but they feed it out front. Shot sent on. Saved there by Sam. Thunderhawks trying to get this one back out front. Picked up by Grady as it feeds it forward. Down into the Thunderhawks end. Will gets on it first for the Thunderhawks. Tied up along the wall here. A couple of bodies landing on the ice here. Grady digs it loose. Works it forward. Shot sent on. Goaltender makes a save. Big glove save there by Bowen. Keeps that one out of the back of the net. Grady steals this one away though. Up and into the Aviators bench, and we're going to face off here. I believe we'll bring it down into the Thunderhawks end. Both teams sending out some fresh legs here. Looks like it'll be Carter Hengschlaven for the Aviators versus Hudson Adler. 6:32 remaining here. Second period, 6-3 hockey game. Thunderhawks all over the Aviators right now as they work this one out down the left side. Parker Norberg, shot sent on, finds the back of the net, giving the Thunderhawks a 4-goal lead here in the second period. It's now 7-3. It looked pretty even after that first period. It was 2-1 Aviators, but Thunderhawks have come out looking like a whole new team here in the second period. Looks like a little unsportsmanlike here for a couple of players. The wings on the backside of the face-off here were messing with each other a little bit, so they're going to take them both, put them in the box. They'll sit down for a minute 30. I believe we'll stay 5-on-5. Those players will not be released. Or maybe we'll go 4-on-4. Looks like we will go 4-on-4. Those players will not be released. Actually, since they're being called individually, they will be released after the minute 30 if they had been called together. It would be a minute 30, and then they'd be released on the first whistle afterwards. All right, now we're going 4-on-4. Yeah, okay, so we're staying 4-on-4. Face off, one back by the Aviators. Tucker pushes it forward, gets it up to Carter. Carter trying to get around the defenseman Nelson Berg, but he steals it away and brings it back down to the Aviators' end. Puts on the brakes, slows things down, feeds it to the middle. Comes right to Albert Carreri of the Aviators. He pushes it out. Here's a race for it. Carter Hengschlaven trying to get there first for the Aviators. Down the left side. Tried to fire that one. Whiffed on that one. Thunderhawks steal it back. They'll work it back out in the neutral zone. Here's Hudson Adler trying to get around. Tucker Norby brings it in on shot sent on. Big save there by Sam. Another shot sent on, but Sam made the save on that one as well. And we'll get a face off here in the Aviators' end. I think that second shot actually was by Tucker on his own goaltender. Trying to push the puck back to him a little bit. Actually ended up shooting it on him. Either way, the puck stays out of the back of the net. We'll get a face off here in the Aviators' end. A face off, one back by the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on. That was Nelson Berg firing one on, went just wide. Here's John Busher on the far side. Spins away from one Aviator. Pushed out by Teeny, but looks like this puck will go all the way down for an icing, as we are 4-on-4, so even strength. And we're going to face off back down in the Aviators' end. So 41 seconds still to go on those matching penalties for the Aviators and the Thunderhawks. We're going to face off here down in the Aviators' end. Thunderhawks leading 7-3 with 5:30 to go here in the second period. Face off one back by the Aviators. Teeny sends it up the wall, comes out to the point. Thunderhawks try to push it through the middle, but it's stolen away by, that's Jace down the right side. Try to feed it to the middle to Evan. Here comes loose to Evan right in front of the goaltender. Shots in on, but right in the bread basket. And Bowen O'Brien standing tall, holds onto that one for his team, and we're going to face off here in the Aviators' end. So a golden opportunity there for the Aviators. But strong goaltending play by Bowen O'Brien. Keep that one out of the back of the net. And we're going to face off in the Thunderhawk end. Face off one back by the Thunderhawks. Thunderhawks work this one out into the neutral zone. This is Levi down the right side, skating through everybody, trying to get a shot off. Sam makes a save on that one. Comes up to the point, sent back in by the Thunderhawks, but stopped by Teeny. Teeny will skate this one forward. Trying to feed it off, but stays with it, gets it down into the zone. Uses her speed, gets down in the corner. Tries to feed one out front, but nobody home there as some players are going for a change. Those matching penalties are over, so we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. This one's brought into the zone. Shot sent on. Sam makes a save on that one. Picked up by Evan behind the net. Evan sends it up the wall, but Thunderhawks will keep this one in as well. It comes over to the near side. Forced out by Jace here. Thunderhawks will have to regroup in the neutral zone. They send one up the wall. Now dump it down into the Aviators' end. This one will ring around behind the net. Teeny will get on it for the Aviators. Trying to send it up the wall, but swallowed up there by Levi. I think it was Levi. Trying to tell what number he's wearing over there. Comes over to the near side. Picked up by Caleb. Stolen away. Teeny tries to force one to the far side. Lewis for the Thunderhawks feeds one towards the front. That one comes through everybody over in the near side. Picked up by Jace for the Aviators. Feeds it up to the point, but kept in. Shot sent on. That one off the stick as soon as he shot it. That was Nelson Berg with the shot from the point. Thunderhawks feed it out to the point. They keep it in. Get it down to Tate Davies. Caleb Jacoby trying to poke that one away, but it'll be Tate Davies in the corner. Feeds it out to the point. Shot sent on through traffic. That one off of Sam sticking into the far corner. Picked up by Evan. Evan tries to feed it forward. Gets it up to Eli. Eli brings it down the left side. Sends a shot on. That one goes well wide. It'll be Jason on the near side. Sends it towards the front, but stopped by the Thunderhawk defense. Nelson Berg brings this one forward through the neutral zone over the red line. Brings it into the zone. Shot sent on. That one goes well wide. Comes bouncing out, though, right in front of the net. Caleb Jacoby had to be on his game. Picks that one up. He'll skate this one forward. Down the far side with some speed. Trying to get around the defenseman. Works it to the middle. Gets swallowed up there by Tate Davies. Tate Davies sends it up the wall. Gets it to his wing. Stolen away by Grady as he comes off the bench. But Grady had his pocket picked right away as well as they dumped this one down. Tucker Norby in front of the Thunderhawk bench. Skates behind his own net. Takes a look. Spins away from Tate. Spins away again. Tries to work it up the wall. Lost the handle on it. Thunderhawks steal this one back. Lewis down the left side. Backhands it out front. Goes off of Davies' stick. Thunderhawks trying to force this one up front. Picked up by Grady. He spins around. Sends one out towards the blue line. Picked up by Evan trying to get this one out. Looks like it'll come loose to Macklin. Macklin trying to get around the defense. Stolen away here by Nelson Berg. He turns it right back up, sends it up the wall, dumps it down. Looks like that one will go a little bit too far. We'll get an icing call here. And a face-off back down in the Thunderhawk end. So 2 minutes, 6 seconds to go here, second period. Thunderhawks with a 7-3 lead. Thunderhawks dominating now in the shot department, 31-20. They have control of the majority of the play here in the second period. Found the back of the net 6 times. There's John Busher feeding it forward, but stolen away by Grady, but John was able to poke that out. Tucker pushes it back up to Grady. Grady brings it into the zone. got around one defenseman, but lost the handle. Now picked up by Levi. Feeds one up the wall, but stolen away by Macklin along the sideboard. So he goes down below the goal line. Feeds one up front, but nicely defended there by Bowen Olsen. Stealing that one away. He gets it up to one of his forwards, Eli. Eli feeds it to the middle, trying to find Levi, but stolen away by the Aviators. Grady feeds it up to Porter. Porter trying to get around the defenseman. Backhands one on. That one went just up and over the goal post and over the net. The Thunderhawks trying to get this one out, but Porter steals it away. It comes loose to the near side. Picked up by Macklin. Couldn't get it around Eli. Eli skates this one out. He gets knocked down, stolen away from him. It comes loose. Thunderhawks backhand him down. High stick played there, but touched by an Aviator, so that's a no call. Now sent down to Porter. Porter's behind the defense. Down the far side. Thunderhawks getting back. Porter bringing it in. Shots it on. Goes off the side of the net. Porter with it behind the net, though. Lost the edge there. Went down. Picked up by Levi for the Thunderhawks. Skates this one forward. Feeds it over to the far side. Trying to get it to Grayson. That was off the mark. Comes down into the Aviators' end. Sent up the wall. Picked up by the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on through traffic. That hits Sam. Aviators with it along the wall here. They feed it through the middle. Send it down into the Thunderhawk end. About 25 seconds to play here in the second period. Bowen Olsen knocked off of his stick and swallowed up. Sends one out front. Almost put it right on Carter Hengschel and the Aviators' stick. But it comes all the way through, and Thunderhawks are able to work it out. Thunderhawks can't quite get control of the puck here. Having a little trouble, but they'll feed this one up the far side boards. Right to Eli, but that is the end of the second period. So 30 minutes in the books. Looks like we will not get a resurface, so we'll hang out here. Usually we take a little break for the resurfacing, but it looks like we'll stay on the ice. Thunderhawks coming to play there in the second period, trailing by 1 after 1, but now leading by 4. As we get ready for the third period, they lead 7-3. Dominating in the shot department as well, 31-21. They were getting outshot by a couple for most of the first period, but really amped up their game there in the second period. Maybe shook off some of them legs riding in the car on the way out here, but now they're settled in and kind of dominating this game at the moment. Thunderhawks getting on their heels there a little bit as the Thunderhawks scored just 6 seconds into the second period, but obviously Thunderhawks still struggling there a little bit at allowing the Aviators behind them and getting some odd man rushes, but doing a nice job of getting back checking well and slowing those down or stopping them completely. The Aviators not doing the best job of defending in their own zone, as we'll see another goalie change here. Case and Ferguson will come back in to, guessing, start this first half of this third period. We should see Bowen O'Brien come back in the second half of this third period to finish this game out as we get ready for the face-off for the third period here. Looks like it'll be Hudson Adler for the Thunderhawks, Carter Hengschlaven for the Aviators. Down, brought forward by the Thunderhawks, pushed back though by the Aviators. Thunderhawks get control. Will McInerney sling that one forward, but stolen away by Grady. Grady trying to steal this one away. Here's Evan. Evan sends one on net. Saved there by Case and keeps that one out of the net. Will McInerney feeds him through the middle, but stolen away by Grady once again. He sends one forward, gets it up to Evan. Evan sends another shot on. Another huge save there by Case. Puck comes rolling in on Case. Puck bounces up in the air. It looks like Case finally gets a glove on that one, and we get a whistle. Well, the Aviators coming out to play for this third period. See if they can keep that kind of intensity here for the rest of the third period, or if this lead is too much for them to overcome. Bouncing puck. Pushed forward by Carter Hengschlaven. Sends one back up the wall, trying to get it to Evan. Comes up to Teeny. Teeny sends it down to Carter. Carter Hengschleb in the corner, battling, trying to send this one up front. It comes out to the defenseman for the Thunderhawks. Feeds it up the wall, gets it out in the neutral zone, but stopped there by Caleb Jacoby. He brings it back in just a little bit early, and we'll get a face-off here just outside the zone in front of the Thunderhawk bench. So it looks like it'll be Tate Davies taking a face-off for the Thunderhawks, going against Jay Stadstad for the Aviators. Puck down, one back by the Aviators. Comes to Tucker Norby. Sends one off. Tried to send it up the wall, but stopped by the Thunderhawks. They bring it back into the zone. Down the right side, Tate Davies with it. Feeds it to the middle. That goes off a stick. Comes loose to the defenseman. Shot sent on. Sam kicks that one into the corner. Picked up by Eli. Eli slips away from one Thunderhawk. Goes behind his own net. Sends it up the wall, trying to hit Porter McWilliams. Nice read there by Nelson Berg. Stole that one away. Works it down below the goal line. He has control. Feeds it out. Shot sent on. Puck behind the net. Thunderhawks try to feed up front. Davies standing out there trying to get this shot off. Comes rolling in on Sam. He gets a glove on it. Holds on. We'll get a face-off. 13:29 remaining here in the third period. Thunderhawks still with a 7-3 lead. It'll be Levi Pavlich taking a face-off for the Thunderhawks, going against Jay Stadstad. Sent back to the point. They go D-to-D with it. Shot sent on that one, goes whistling wide. There was 3 Thunderhawks out there trying to get sticks on it. Long wall here, batted out by Jay, sent down the ice. Puck won't go for icing. There's a race for Eli trying to get there first. A nice job of defending there by the Thunderhawks. They send it up the wall. Sent out to the point, kept in by Tucker. Tucker sends one towards the net. Porter and Eli trying to steal that one away, but Thunderhawks get it back. They chip it out in the neutral zone. Puck gets around Albert, brought into the zone, trying to feed it over to John Bush, who defended nicely there by Tucker Norby. Picked up by Albert out front, sends it over to Tucker, tried to feed it forward to Eli, but stolen away. Here's a shot sent on. Busher out front, gets another shot sent on. Kept out of the back of net. Another one out front, wide open net. They send one off the post. Here's a big shot by Will McInerney. Gets it all to the net, but Sam got a pad on that one, holds on, and we'll get a face-off. A few good opportunities there for the Thunderhawks. 3 good saves there by Sam and one off the pipe. And we stay 7-3. Thunderhawks with control in the offensive zone. They send it over to the sidewall here. Nelson Berg feeding it forward. Here's a shot sent on. Sam makes a save. Drops down and holds on to that one. That was Grayson Doyle with the shot. Looks like we'll move it to the near side here, or it should be. Face off, one back to the point. Nelson Berg with a shot through traffic, but right into the stomach of Sam. He holds on. We'll reset and do it again. 12:04 to go here in the third period. Thunderhawks with a commanding lead, 7-3. Just a reminder for all of you that are watching out there, we will have this broadcast back up again tomorrow morning at 9:45 as these two teams will face off again as there's a shot sent on. Sam makes a save on it. Thunderhawks trying to get it back out front. Aviators force this one out in the neutral zone. That game will be starting at 9:45, so we'll get that broadcast up about 9:40 for anybody that wants to watch that one. I know a lot of fans here are sticking around too as the Grand Rapids Pewee AA and the Grand Forks Pewee AA will face off here right immediately after this game ends. So I know I'm going to stick around and watch that one as here's an opportunity for the Aviators. They feed it over to the near side. Over to Evan. 2-on-1 gets fizzled up pretty quickly there as they Thunderhawks ring this one around to the far side. Now 3-on-2 for the Thunderhawks if they hurry. Brought in down the far side. Shot sent on. That got tipped out front by Teeny. Picked up by Grady. He's got some ice in front of him. Hands it off to Evan. Lost control of that. They feed it forward to Evan. Evan gets it knocked off of his stick. Teeny follows it up. She sends a shot towards the net. That one goes well wide. Chipped up to the point. Kept in by Porter McWilliams. Thunderhawks able to work it out in the neutral zone. Down the middle. Trying to get around the fence. Shots in on. That one finds the back of the net as well. So an 8-3 lead here for the Thunderhawks. Trying to see who that was. I believe that's number 5. That makes sense. Parker Norberg. It is Parker Norberg with the goal and extending this lead. Now making it a 5-goal lead. It's 8-3 Thunderhawks here with 10:42 remaining in the third period. Face off down. One back by the Aviators. It comes to Tucker Norby into his own zone. Tries to send him at the wall, but stolen away here by Desmond Dolan. He works it towards the middle. Puck behind the net, picked up by Eli. Eli backhands one up to Carter. Carter over to Porter. Porter down the left side. Takes a look, sends a shot through traffic, but right into the glove of Case, and he holds on, and we'll get a face-off down in the Thunderhawks' end. All right. Carter Hangschleben for the Aviators. Wins it back for Tucker Norby. Tucker shots it on, goes off a couple bodies. I believe Kaysen got a stick on that. It pushes it into the corner. Eli overskated that one for the Aviators. Now Carter in the corner. Eli pushes it down low. Nelson Berg comes back to steal that one away. There's an opportunity for Porter McWilliams trying to go short side on Kaysen, but makes a couple nice saves for the Thunderhawks. Thunderhawks push it up the wall. Looks like Tate Davies trying to get this one out. Carter Hangschleben is able to push it back down in, though. Picked up by Nelson Berg for the Thunderhawks. Stolen away by Porter McWilliams, trying to get a shot off. Looks like Kaysen was able to get a glove on that one. And we'll get a whistle and a face-off here. Tempers flare a little bit, but cooler heads prevail, and we'll get a face-off down in the Thunderhawks' end on the far side. Aviator sending out some fresh legs. Look, it'll be Jay Stadstad. Evan and Grady as his wings. It'll be Levi taking a face-off here for the Thunderhawks. One back by the Thunderhawks. Grady steals that one away, pushed down into the corner, picked up by Levi. Levi sends it up the wall, gets it to John Busher. Stolen away, though, by the Aviators. They push it down in the corner. Jace trying to steal this one away, tied up in the corner. Excuse me, Evan. Now Jace comes in to help him out. Bodies flying all over the place. Puck's still laying there. Finally work it loose. Thunderhawks will come away with it. Down the near side. I believe that's Brody Kirsting down the right side. Tries to feed it out front, sends it out front, shots in on. Sam makes a save on that one. Puck comes loose as Sam stood up there. But we get a whistle and a face-off coming here on the far side of the Aviators' end. So 8 minutes, 46 seconds to go, third period. Thunderhawks all over the Aviators here in this first game of their 4 games out here in Grand Forks. Teeny picks it up for the Aviators, feeds it through the middle, trying to hit Jace. That goes off a Thunderhawk stick, so no ice. It'll be Bowen Olsen for the Thunderhawks chasing this one down. He slips away from one Aviator, gets the pass up to his wing, feeds this one forward. That's Levi bringing it through everybody down the right side. Drops off for John Busher. Busher sends a shot on. Bouncing puck comes in on Sam. He holds on. We'll get a face off. A face tough coming here in the Aviators' end. Shots heavily in favor of the Thunderhawks, 42-30. I don't think that's really the true shots, as any shot that counts would have to be within the 4x6 rectangle of the net, but I think they're counting some of the ones that were shot on, but not all the way on net, or some that may have saved outside of that 4x6. The Thunderhawks here with an opportunity. The feed went through the middle, trying to hit the player standing back door. Trying to see what his number was. That was number 9. Grayson Doyle had a wide open net. Out into the neutral zone, picked up by the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on here. That one goes off the side of the net. Caleb pushes it over into the near side corner, but gathered up by the Thunderhawks. Stolen away here by Grady. He feeds one through the middle. It comes out in the neutral zone. Bowen Olsen has to regroup a little bit. Tries to bring it back in. He's met at the blue line, but stays with it. Has control down the far side. Feeds one through the middle. Has 2 Thunderhawks standing on the back door here. Shot sent on. That one goes behind the net. That was Grayson Doyle again with the shot. Teeny sends it up to Grady. Grady gets around the defenseman, trying to get on his horse to beat them down. Gets a shot off, beats the goaltender, finds the back of the net, makes this an 8-4 hockey game. I'm not 100% sure. I think that was only the second goal given up, so both goaltenders for Thunderhawks giving up 2 each, but Kaysen playing a real nice job, and you see him go off the ice there. It's obviously not because he gave up the goal, because it's the middle of this third period, and they've been splitting all the periods. He has played very well for the Thunderhawks, as has Bowen O'Brien, as Bowen comes in for his turn here in the third period to defend that net for the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on there. Doesn't make it to the net. That's Lewis. Saved by Sam. He holds on. We're going to face off. 6:57 remaining here in the third period. Thunderhawks all over the Aviators, 8-4. Tate Davies to take the face off for the Thunderhawks versus Carter Hengschleben of the Aviators. Tucker sends this one up the glass, trying to get it out, but the Thunderhawks keep that one in. Comes loose to Lewis. Shot sent on, saved by Sam. We'll reset and do it again. Face off one back by the Aviators again. Tucker sends it up the wall just like we did, but stolen away here by the Thunderhawks. Battle for it in the corner. Thunderhawks will ring it around to the far side. It'll be Desmond Dolan that gets there first for the Thunderhawks. Trying to backhand one out to his defensive teammate, Will McInerney, but stolen away by Carter Hengschleben down the left side. Turns, fires, saved by Bowen. Picked up by the Thunderhawks. As Will McInerney behind his own net. Skates this one forward down the far side. Sends it up to Davies. Davies trying to get around the defense. Defended nicely there by Albert. Tucker comes over and steals it away, but now it's Will McInerney down the far side. He works this one towards the net. Gets on his backhand, trying to get on his forehand. Shot sent on there, goes up and over the net. I believe that was Lewis that fired that one just over the crossbar. Aviators work this one out in the neutral zone. Carter Hengschleben trying to steal this one away. It'll be sent down into the Thunderhawks' end. Sent up to Tate Davies, now up to Lewis. Lewis down the right side. That's Tate in the middle, works it to the outside. Shot sent on, that one goes up and over the crossbar as well. This will be picked up by Porter McWilliams down the far side. He skates it forward, tried to push it to his teammate, who went off for a change. Got a little confused there. The Thunderhawks have control. They work this one out in the neutral zone. Lewis feeds it forward to Tate off of his stick. Teeny pushes this one to the far side. Thunderhawks trying to steal this one back. Should have been an offsides call there, but we'll play on. Porter has it, works it to the high slot, takes a shot through traffic, right into the glove of Bowen. Second chance there by Evan, gets pushed just wide. Thunderhawks get control behind their own net. This is Levi working it forward, getting through one defenseman. 3-on-1 here. Fed over to his wing, shot sent on, big save. Another big save there by Sam. Sam gets a cover on there. And we'll get a whistle. Nice play there by Levi. Fed it over to his wing. I believe that was Eli. Eli got the shot off. And Levi got there for the rebound, but Sam was able to keep it out of the back of the net, and we stay 8-4 with 4:56 remaining here, third period. It'll be Levi for the Thunderhawks. Jace for the Aviators. One back to the point. Nelson works it down to John. John takes a shot. That one pushed wide into the far corner. Looks like it'll be Eli and Levi over there for the Thunderhawks. Shot sent on. Sam makes the save. Puck behind the net. Sent up the wall by the Thunderhawks, but stolen away by Porter. Porter will skate this one forward. He feeds it up to Jace. Jace trying to get through the defense, but nicely defended there by the Thunderhawks. Puck comes loose over to the sidewall here. Picked up by Eli. He'll skate this one through a couple Aviators. Caleb Jacoby steps up, knocks that one away. It comes loose to Porter, but over to the stick of Caleb. He'll skate this one forward, but offsides as Jace lost the blue line. We end up going offsides here, and we'll get a face-off right in front of the Thunderhawk bench. Controlled here by the Thunderhawks. They bring it into the zone. Nicely defended there by the Aviators. This one's pushed forward, gets to Grady. That was Hudson Adler trying to get through the defense, but got swallowed up by a few Aviators. Now it's Macklin Brown. Same thing, gets swallowed up by the Thunderhawk defense. Knocked away there by Grady. Thunderhawks get on it, send one off the ref. Big hit along the wall there. It's like one of the Grand Rapids coaches wanted a penalty. I think they might have just ran into each other and went down awkward, but either way, we play on here. Brought forward here by the Thunderhawks. Knocked away, but Thunderhawks still have control. Along the wall here, Grady trying to steal it away. A little bit of pushing and shoving along the wall, but looks like it comes loose. Thunderhawks will get control, but lost that right away. Comes now over to the far side. Hudson Adler down the left side. Prairie for the Aviators comes and steals that one away. Battle for it at the blue line here. Bouncing puck. Thunderhawks get control. Spin around attempt there. Got blocked. Prairie trying to get this one out. But it'll be dumped down deeper there by Parker Norberg. Down into the Aviators' end behind the net. Thunderhawks with it. They feed it up. Get it back to Parker. Parker shots in on, but right into the glove of Sam. He holds on and we'll get a face-off. 2 minutes, 46 seconds to go here in the third period. Thunderhawks leading by 4. It's 8-4 here in this third period. Tate Davies will take the face-off for the Thunderhawks. Carter Hengschleben for the Aviators. Face-off, one back by the Aviators. Comes to Teeny. Teeny sends one up the wall, trying to get it up to Evan. Thunderhawks stolen it away, but looks like Evan will get control of it, and he'll skate this one forward. Sends it through the middle, trying to hit it over to Porter, but stolen away by the Thunderhawks. They bring it right back in. This is Desmond Dolan. Tried to send a shot on net, comes loose. Shot sent on by Lewis. That one's up and over the net. Hengschleben out of the corner. Feeds up to the point, now sent on by the Thunderhawks, but stopped by Teeny. Thunderhawks get it back. Lewis with it. Gets a shot, sends one in the back of the net. And it's a 5-goal lead here for the Thunderhawks. I believe Lewis has at least 2 now, maybe even 3. They lead this one 9-4 with just over 2 minutes to play. Face off, one back by the Aviators, right to Teeny. Teeny tries to send up the wall here, comes down into the Thunderhawk end. Thunderhawks send it right back down into the Aviators end, picked up by Carter Hengschleben. He sends one through the middle, gets it up to Porter McWilliams, but he's swallowed up right away by a couple Thunderhawks players. They get control and they work it forward. Back down the Aviators end, but the Aviators push it back out, but Thunderhawks are able to push it down the sidewall. Caleb Jacoby sends one up the wall. Comes out to the blue line, but comes out. And the Thunderhawks turn around and send that one in just a bit early. That was Brody Kirsting that fired it in. Had no options really either. Lose the puck, give up an odd man rush, or just dump it in, get the whistle. Probably the smarter play. Face off, one back by the Aviators. Down into the corner. They send it up the wall. John Busher sends a shot on that. That one whistles all the way through to the far side. Porter McWilliams for the Aviators gets on it first, but has it stolen away. Now Cutter Hengschlaven for the Aviators trying to work this one out, but Thunderhawks doing a nice job of keeping the blue line, sending it back down low. Caleb Jacoby goes behind his own net, sends one up the wall, gets it up to Evan. Evan tried to work it out in the neutral zone, but had that one stolen away. That was Nelson Berg that was able to keep the blue line for the Thunderhawks. Comes out to Cutter Hengschlaven again. He forces over to the far side to Porter McWilliams, but he's able to get it out in the neutral zone, but Thunderhawks send it back in, but well off sides there as a couple players are still down in the zone. And we'll get a face-off right in front of the Aviators bench. So 1 minute to play here in this third period. Thunderhawks with a 5-goal lead. They lead 9-4. Face-off, sent down into Thunderhawks end. Nice job by Olsen, slipping away from one Aviator. Aviator's trying to feed that one out front, but stolen away there by Levi Pavlich as he feeds it over to John Busher. Busher down the right side. Tucker steals that one away. Busher trying to steal it back, but Tucker able to feed it up to Jace. Thunderhawks doing a nice job at keeping that one in the zone once again. There's an opportunity. Shot sent on, blocked away there by Sam. Levi out of the corner. Levi feeds it out front. Busher trying to poke this one in. Puck bouncing around, still loose. But we do get a whistle. And we'll get a face-off here. Only 16 seconds to go here in the third period. So just a reminder for anybody, if you can keep, well, I don't know what link they sent you. They sent you the YouTube, my YouTube, so you should be able to see the game for tomorrow morning on there as well already. It should say upcoming. That'll be the link for the game tomorrow. So here's another opportunity for the Thunderhawks trying to get one more, and they do sneak one in with just 7 seconds. They'll make it 10-4. That will probably be the last goal that we see here this afternoon. But yeah, if you can follow that link tomorrow, you'll see the game between Grand Rapids and Grand Forks here once again. A rematch of these two teams at 9:45. So, yeah. Before we go here, we only got 7 seconds. Usually I do this after, but we appreciate you guys joining us for this game. Some of you that obviously follow along with the Grand Forks stuff, but glad we were able to get the game out there for some of you guys in the Grand Rapids area as well, too. Grand Rapids will probably always be our home, so we're always excited when we see the black and orange out here playing in whatever level. As that is the end of this one, a 10-4 victory for the Thunderhawks. Goaltenders leading their teams through the handshake line. And normally you'd see that some of the players go to the center ice for a little prayer circle after. Haven't seen it too much at the Squirt level yet, but either way, we wish the Grand Rapids team luck over there this evening. I think they have one more game, and then they a couple more tomorrow, and safe travels and all that. And if you can join us, we'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate you joining us.